Coming up this week, could Lucid be starting deliveries of the Lucid Air soon? GM expands their Bolt EV battery recall. I try to decipher some main points from Tesla's AI Day, and more. Well, hello, friends, and welcome to episode 76 of the EV Resource Podcast. I'm Zach Hurst, and each week I bring you the latest EV news, information, and answer your questions about electric vehicles. According to the Daily Lucid, the #1 Lucid Motors news outlet, the Lucid Air was supposed to launch in the spring of 2021 earlier this year, but because of COVID-19, it caused a delay in the arrival of the eagerly awaited Lucid Air. In a letter from CEO Peter Rawlinson, the company announced that vehicles would not be delivering this spring as initially promised. Instead, customer deliveries will begin sometime in the second half of 2021. Well, we're almost 2 full months into the second half of this year, and we haven't really had any update until this week. Last Wednesday, customers who reserved the Lucid Air Dream Edition got an email update that said, "Get ready to confirm your Dream Edition. It's nearly time to confirm your order." So this does indicate that things are progressing after all, and there are 2 main points that add to the timeline to indicate that deliveries could be starting soon. The first is the crash test program. From the investor call on July 13th, we do know that Lucid Motors is currently crash testing production models, which means that they have produced cars that are ready to be delivered but have to pass specific governmental tests and be approved. And the second, with EPA testing, again from the investor call that was held last month, we know that Lucid Motors is currently testing the official range of the car. Once again, these tests are a must for Lucid Motors to start delivering the Lucid Air, and if the Lucid Air achieves the EPA estimated range of 517 miles on a single charge, it would be the first EV to eclipse that 500-mile range. So what does this all mean? Well, it means that we could be getting much closer now to customer deliveries, and it is very possible that we might see Lucid delivering cars to customers next month in September. Next, the plug-in hybrid SUV crossover market is certainly heating up. The 2022 Hyundai Tucson plug-in hybrid is almost here, and apparently it will have a 33-mile electric range and 35 miles per gallon combined fuel economy rating, at least according to ratings posted Monday by the EPA. And that's better than the 32 miles of range and 30 miles per gallon combined that the company claimed just earlier this year, and much better than the 28 miles it claimed last year. It also keeps the Tucson plug-in hybrid competitive among the growing crop of plug-in hybrid compact crossovers in the segment. Others like the Toyota RAV4 Prime, which boasts 42 miles of all-electric range, and the Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid, which is rated at 24 miles of electric range, are certainly standout contenders, but they are somewhat low volume and hard to find. The Ford Escape plug-in hybrid will also be a rival, and it is due to arrive later this month after some delay. Originally, it was due for the 2022 model year and previously rated at 32 miles of electric range and 41 miles per gallon combined in hybrid mode. Now, the Ford is expected to be front-wheel drive only, while the Tucson plug-in hybrid gets all-wheel drive as a standard feature. Its powertrain consists of a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, which is coupled to a 6-speed automatic transmission, all working with an electric motor and a 13.8 kilowatt-hour battery pack. Now, that 33 miles out of a 13.8 kilowatt-hour battery pack certainly doesn't meet the type of efficiency we've grown to expect from the brand, but also remember that this crossover is toting around at least 1,000 pounds of internal combustion engine and related gas-burning parts. So it's not going to reach those higher efficiency numbers that we've seen from their full EVs. Total system output is 261 horsepower, and there is a 7.2 kilowatt onboard charger that is standard. That should allow for a full level 2 charge in less than 2 hours, which is great. And hopefully that short recharge time will mean that many people can utilize this to run exclusively on electric for as much as possible. So when will you be able to get one? Hyundai says before the end of the summer. But Hyundai won't get more specific than that, so it could be a few weeks or a month or more. Big news from GM this week. Friday afternoon, they announced that they would expand their Bolt battery recall to all Chevy Bolts, including ones manufactured in the US and including the brand new 2022 EV and Bolt EUVs. It looks like LG, the battery supplier, is the one being thrown under the bus here. GM has changed its tone on the recall press releases, now putting the blame squarely on the battery supplier. The recall in part reads, General Motors is voluntarily expanding the current Chevy Bolt EV recall to cover the remaining 2019 and all 2020 through 2022 model year vehicles, including the Bolt EUV. In rare circumstances, the batteries supplied to GM for these vehicles may have two manufacturing defects, a torn anode tab and folded separator, present in the same battery cell, which increases the risk of fire. Out of an abundance of caution, GM will replace defective battery modules in Chevy Bolt EVs and EUVs with new modules, with an expected additional cost of approximately $1 billion. After further investigation into the manufacturing processes at LG in disassembling battery packs, GM discovered manufacturing defects in certain battery cells produced at LG manufacturing facilities beyond the Korea plant. GM and LG are working to rectify the cause of these defects. In the meantime, GM is pursuing commitments from LG for reimbursement of this field action. And that's not the entire recall, but that is the main points. And this is an absolutely huge undertaking, and it means that LG and GM's Ultium battery partnership could be at risk if an agreement can't be made. But when will these batteries be made? I mean, GM and LG basically have to make packs for the last 5 years of Bolts, and then they have to be swapped out, which is just a massive, massive undertaking. GM says it's working aggressively with LG to increase production as soon as possible. And they are going to need to increase production because really, at this point, coming up with replacing 5 years of batteries and then continuing on the same path with the same expectations to build EVs going forwards with the new Ultium battery packs. Honestly, I don't see how they're going to do all of this quickly or I mean, it could last years. But really, and really the last thing that GM needs, or honestly the entire EV community needs, is less batteries out there on the market. And I've got a bunch of questions, but the one that probably pops into mind at the top is, what will GM do with the old battery packs? Not every cell is going to be defective, so are they going to remanufacture or kind of reassemble new battery packs with all good cells from the old packs? I mean, that's the way I think it would be done, but I don't know. I'm certainly no expert on the matter. A possible upside, though, if you are a Bolt EV or EUV owner, is that the new battery packs, or the new modules rather, they are going to come with an 8-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. So a refreshed warranty for the new battery module. So there's that. Next, I'm going to do my best to describe some of what Tesla announced on their AI Day this week. And honestly, I'm not going to be able to do a great job with it, I'm sure. Much of what was discussed was very detailed and very technical, and I'm no AI expert. That being said, I will do my best here to give you the highlights, and if you want to watch the entire event yourself, it is available on Tesla's YouTube channel. Recently, Elon Musk has been very clear that he wants Tesla to be seen as much more than just an electric car company. And at the AI event, he described Tesla as a company with deep AI activity in hardware on the interface level and on the training level that can be used down the line for applications beyond self-driving cars, including a humanoid robot that Tesla is apparently building or intends to build. The event featured a series of Tesla engineers explaining various Tesla technology with the clear goal of recruiting the best and brightest to join Tesla's vision and AI team and help the company go to autonomy and beyond. And that's really what this event was. It was entirely for recruiting. It wasn't meant to be an event for mass public consumption, even though Tesla never misses an opportunity to be as accessible as possible for these events. And naturally, the first part that most of the post-event media focused on, and honestly, what I'm going to mention here first, is this Tesla robot. Elon Musk apparently envisions a world which the human drudgery like grocery shopping, work that people least like to do, can be overtaken by humanoid robots like the Tesla bot. And the bot itself is 5'8", 125 pounds, can deadlift 150 pounds, walk at 5 miles an hour, which honestly is pretty brisk pace, and it has a screen for a head that displays important information. And Elon said, quote, "It's intended to be friendly, of course, and navigate a world built for humans. We're setting it such that at a mechanical and physical level, you can run away from it and most likely overpower it," end quote. And the bot, a prototype which is expected for next year, is being proposed as a non-automotive robotic use case for the company's work on neural networks and its Dojo advanced supercomputer. I have to ask, though, did anybody else imagine that the military is likely going to want to get involved and build a robot army? I'm sure I wasn't the only one that saw that use case, but maybe I've watched way too many videos about this stuff. Tesla's senior director of autopilot hardware, Ganesh Venkataramanan, and I'm butchering that, so we'll just say Ganesh V, unveiled Tesla's computer chip, designed and built entirely in-house, that the company is using to run its Dojo supercomputer. Much of Tesla's AI architecture is dependent on Dojo, the neural network training computer that Elon says will be able to process vast amounts of camera imaging data 4 times faster than any other computing systems. The idea is that Dojo-trained AI software will be pushed out to Tesla customers via over-the-air updates. And many of the speakers at the AI event noted that Dojo will not just be a tech for Tesla's full self-driving computer or FSD system, but that the powerful supercomputer is built with multiple aspects, such as simulation architecture that the company hopes to expand to be universal and even open up to other automakers and tech companies. And Musk said, quote, "This is not intended to be limited to Tesla cars. Those of you who have seen the full self-driving beta can appreciate the rate at which the Tesla neural net is learning to drive, and this is a particular application of AI. But I think there's more applications down the road that will make sense," end quote. And Musk said Dojo is expected to be operational next year, at which point we can expect talk about how this tech could be applied to many other use cases. So it definitely looks like Tesla is interested in expanding much, much further beyond cars. And it goes without saying, perhaps, or maybe it doesn't, that the world is going to be changing dramatically because of the work that Tesla and Tesla employees are doing with this. If you do want to watch the whole event, like I said, it is available on YouTube under Tesla's channel, so you can easily search for it. Or, I would suggest, because I, once again, am not giving the full scope of this for a number of reasons. Time actually is a part of it. I would suggest looking at some of the videos and other commentary from people that are much more experienced with not only Tesla specifically, but also just what Tesla is doing, and maybe they can give a little bit more insight that's more valuable perhaps than what I've shared with you. The Formula E Championship and season wrapped up this last weekend with no shortage of drama and excitement. Berlin hosted rounds 14 and 15 on the same track, but this time the series ran the course in reverse. Round 14 finished up with everybody driving a fairly clean race, giving each other room and playing nice, but there still was a lot of passing action, especially passing for the lead many times, and much other general Formula E style racing. Lucas di Grassi ended the day after a spectacular race.
Here comes Mortara, goes to the outside of the final turn. He's going to get a great run off the final corner, gets on the power, but I don't think he's going to quite have the room. It's a drag race to the line. The checker flag falls, and Lucas di Grassi wins in Berlin with 0% energy right at the line, and Evans comes across the line in third. He holds off Norman Nato and Jake Dennis, and it's victory for Audi in Berlin. Lucas di Grassi moves into title contention.
Round 15, however, was quite shocking, literally from start to finish. As the lights went out to start the race, Mitch Evans' car failed to move, and he was rear-ended hard by Eduardo Mortara, knocking out both of the championship contenders before they even crossed the starting line.
We go green in Berlin, and Evans doesn't move, and he's been hit. Mitch Evans has been hit by Eduardo Mortara. Two title contenders out instantly. What an utter disaster for them. And suddenly, Nick de Vries and Jake Dennis are looking in the box seats. You could not have predicted it. You could not have foreseen it. And the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship takes another outrageous turn in the final race of the season. The safety car is deployed instantly. Evans' car just did not move.
Lap 1 was immediately under caution. On the restart, the drama continued as Jake Dennis ran into the back of Sebastian Buemi, lost control, and then slammed into the outside wall coming into turn 1, causing the second caution to come out in the first 5 minutes of the race.
Green flag, and Stoffel van Dorn gets the racing going again. And there's a huge gap back to the Nissan of Sebastian Buemi. And Jake Dennis is going on the attack immediately, and there's a look up the inside. Dennis is in the wall! Jake Dennis has lost it, and Dennis has crashed out! What on earth is going on in this title decider? Dennis in the wall, out of the race!
Things did settle down for a little bit there in the middle of the race, a few position changes and the usual overtaking under attack mode, until there was about 15 minutes and 1 lap remaining. Lucas di Grassi dove to the inside of DaCosta and on the turn exit shoved him right into the wall, ending DaCosta's race.
Safety car deployed. This is what happened to DaCosta. It's Lucas di Grassi he's fighting with here in the Audi. Di Grassi sells him the dummy, goes up the inside.
Oh, Lucas.
On restart, we saw some hard charging from Rowland and Sims, and then de Vries. The championship leader got involved, and it didn't go well. He dropped back from 4th position all the way to 7th, and in order to win the championship overall for himself and the Mercedes EQ team, he would need to finish in at least 8th place.
Oh, he goes for the move. A late defense from Alexander Sims. Here comes De Vries.
De Vries sends it. Wow, what a move. But then here comes the Porsche of Pascal Wehrlein. Wehrlein gets ahead of Sims as well. And there to the outside. Oh, Sims fighting back. 3 wide into 2. It's Lotterer who's trying to get past, and De Vries has lost it. And now they're 3 wide coming towards turn 3. And this is the championship leader. And there's contact. The 2 Mercedes almost wiped out together. De Vries is on the marbles. He's now back behind the Porsches. De Vries has all the way dropped back to 7th place.
And at the end, Nato took the checkered flag, his first Formula E win. Roland finished in 2nd with Van Dorn finishing out the podium. And where did De Vries finish? In 8th place, which did secure the championship win and winning the Mercedes EQ team their team championship as well.
Norman Nato is going to win for the first time in the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. Nato wins, Roland 2nd, Van Dorn is 3rd, delight for Rocket Venturi, but here comes Nick de Vries, the Mercedes EQ driver, out across the line. He finishes in 8th place, and he wins the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship.
Well done, mate. Well done. That's it. Scenario first world champion, mate. Oh,
absolute delight. Mercedes EQ. They are the team's champions as well. Van Dorn delighted for him. A first win in the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship for Norman Nato. Oliver Rowland 2nd, Stoffel Van Dorn 3rd, Lotterer 4th, Sims in 5th. Nick de Vries' 8th position is enough to secure him the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship title. And what an absolutely frantic, frenetic, and astonishing race that was. De Vries wins it by 7 points over Eduardo Mortara. Jake Dennis finishing 3rd, Mitch Evans is 4th, Robin Fries is 5th, Bird in 6th, De Grassi 7th, reigning champion DaCosta in 8th. It's a new champion in the team's championship with Mercedes EQ and Nick de Vries, the world champions.
So what an end to the Formula E season, but that is not the end to the International Electric Motorsport. Oh, no, not even close. Extreme E's Arctic X Prix coverage is coming up this coming weekend, with the Shakedown streaming live on YouTube Friday the 27th at 3 p.m. Eastern. So that is all for the news that I have for you this week. Before I get on to the end bits, I do want to share a little bit about what's going on in my own life. This past Wednesday, after months and months of waiting on order, we finally received our Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus for my wife to drive. It's black, it's got a black interior, and I'm absolutely thrilled. This is a fantastic car. Of course, I'm familiar with electric vehicles. I've driven every Tesla. I'm familiar with Tesla vehicles, but of course, brand new to Tesla ownership. So I will share little bits and pieces as things progress. This is a new experience for me. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait actually to line up a little drag race between the Spark EV and the Tesla, because while the Tesla has almost 2 seconds, 0 to 60, faster than the Spark has more torque. So I'm curious to see if there's at any point off the line, if the Spark will kind of take the lead over the Tesla, or if it'll just rely entirely on driver reaction time. But either way, it's fun to think about, and certainly I'm thrilled to be a 2 EV household now. We do not have any gas burning cars, so that's great. Very, very excited about making that switch, because it's been years. I've been looking forward to this moment for many, many years, even before I started EV Resource and the podcast and all of that. So it's been a long time coming, and I really couldn't be more excited about it. So that is your show for this week. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Share this with your friends. Anybody that you might think is interested in electric vehicles, share it with them. Provide some feedback. Hit the thumbs up on the YouTube channel. Leave a comment. All interactions just help whatever platform it's on, whether it's Apple Podcasts or YouTube or whatever. Any interactions just help the algorithms realize that, hey, people actually like this. And now, of course, if you don't like this, then don't do any of that. I always want to thank our Patreon executive producers, Rajiv Narayan and Greg Fuller. If you would like to support EV Resource, you can head over to patreon.com, search for EV Resource, and we'll pop up. I do invite feedback to the email address, hello@ev-resource. You can always leave a comment on the YouTube channel or the video. And don't forget to subscribe. That way, all of the future videos, any shows, follow on the podcasts. You'll just get everything delivered to you right away. You don't have to go searching for it every week. And if you do want to watch or listen to any of the previous shows, you can listen to them on our webpage under the podcast section, and of course on many of the major podcast platforms. So thank you so much for being with me, and I'll catch you next week.